this is going to be an awesome session. At in the PE session that we just had about an hour and a half ago, the two guys mentioned looking into 25. They're kind of pessimistic. They're talking like what happens in a recession happens this way, the other way. And part of being realistic about next year is realizing that every organization, provider group, their C-levels are going to be looking for EBITDA and top line growth without sacrificing profit. And so we have found over the years, yes, private equity-backed provider groups, they absolutely love advertising because it's the most scalable and it goes like this. It's slightly more predictable, but it is less cost efficient. The only way to make your lead acquisition costs really favorable is to blend it with organic, and organic absolutely can scale, just doesn't scale as linearly. But we found with our clients that are performing best, they take SEO very seriously. SEO has changed in what it is. It's not just rankings anymore, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So this is very exciting. Ralph and Abby are absolutely brilliant. Two of the best SEO managers we've ever had, that I've ever seen in the country. They are no nonsense. They get right to the point. So you guys are going to benefit from this. SEO is going to play a really big part next year. And SEO is not just rankings. It incorporates all kinds of stuff. Let's consider it owned and earned media. So this is one to pay attention to as SEO evolves. Abby and Ralph, take it away, my friends. I'm so thankful you're here.
Awesome. All righty. So yeah, I'm Ralph. I'm the SEO manager here at Cardinal Digital Marketing.
And I'm Abby. I'm a senior SEO specialist.
So we're going to go ahead and talk about the topic of going beyond keywords to drive SEO impact. Really, we'll go over a quick overview, talk a little bit about topical authority, how to establish it, topic clusters, following the user funnel, and then showing a couple of examples and ways to make it your own. So question that we often get is, do keywords matter in SEO today? In the early days of search engine optimization, the primary strategy was to maximize the frequency of keywords on a web page. And almost any website could rank for any keyword, regardless of the relevance of the overall theme, if it had enough authority altogether, right? The technique that we know of now that is keyword stuffing is essentially just maximizing the keyword frequency. And it's pretty much now something that's just not really the best way to approach SEO today, right? So Google quickly realized that this wasn't really creating a good user experience and started to combat this by putting out different updates. We see the Panda update, the Hummingbird update, Penguin, and then more recently things like the helpful content and spam updates. The algorithms have become a little bit more sophisticated, and as they have, SEOs has had to adapt their strategy. So the shift really, the focus really shifted away from keyword density to more so contextual relevance. This means creating high quality content and having it become more informative and more engaging and relevant to the target audience is a strategic way to approach the ideas and topics on our website. So back to that initial question, do keywords matter today in SEO? Yes, but our approach to how we incorporate keywords into our strategy is a lot different. So essentially what this did was bring a rise to what we call topical authority. And topical authority is essentially referring to a website's expertise, trustworthiness, and authoritativeness and within a specific niche. So it's long gone are the days where a website could just kind of rank for anything. It's really about the topic or specific niche that the website is an expert within, right? So establishing a topical authority plays a significant role in essentially establishing our rankings and providing an avenue for us to maximize those rankings. And by consistently doing so, we can become a trusted source within Google, but also within our users. So one good way to build a lot of topical authority is through topic clusters. And now, what are topic clusters? Topic clusters are a strategic content organization technique that helps you establish topical authority. By essentially grouping related content, you can signal to search engines that your website is a reliable source for a specific topic or a specific niche. Again, this is a way to significantly boost your search engine rankings and drive organic traffic. And then as you cluster your topic, it allows you to delve deep into specific topics and cover various aspects of a broader topic, and then also going into specific subtopics to, again, drive a little deeper into it. Now, just looking at, again, what a topic cluster is and how to create one, we have an example here where a topic cluster is essentially made up of pillar topics plus supporting topics. Now, a pillar topic is your broad overarching theme. Pillar topics essentially cover that broad theme in depth and essentially creates that central hub for the particular content that you are looking to create. And then the second part is to essentially use keyword research to look for supporting topics to essentially support that cluster and create an interlinking strategy that helps kind of build it out. So I want to give a quick example of what this could look like within the medical space. So essentially, we're looking at an example here, applied behavioral analysis, what it is. A topic could be applied behavioral analysis, what it is and how does it work. And then that would be the pillar theme. And then from there, we can have our subtopics or our topic cluster pieces, which is could look something like ABA therapy for autism spectrum disorder. Could be something like benefits of early ABA intervention, choosing the right ABA provider, or parent's guide to applied behavioral analysis. Again, the supporting topics are connected to the broader theme of the pillar topic, but kind of approach it at a different angle. And again, they're kind of interlinked to each other, and the pillar page serves as a gateway to the additional content. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Abby, and she's going to go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into, some more applications and how this could look for our patient journey and our users as well.
So I'm going to talk about how do you build topical authority through the user funnel. So I'll provide some more information in the following slide on how to target topical authority through the funnel. But as an overview, informational authority starts at the highest part of the funnel. So this includes resources such as optimized blog posts, FAQ pages, guides and how-tos, and condition pages. So the next group targets commercial authority. This includes service and treatment pages, testimonials and patient stories, and any information on company research pertaining to your specific topic. So the final group targets navigational authority, which includes location-specific pages, as well as provider bios and specialties. So all these pages work together to really build that recognized topical authority. Moving to the next slide. Thank you. So how do these different types of content work together to build this topical authority? So starting at the bottom of this funnel this time, service pages are the key driver for conversional intent. They also establish the root of topical authority for specific treatment and specialty services, including internal links on service pages to relative blogs and resources, such as condition pages in this case, is key for Google to recognize how your topical pages work together and intertwine on an architectural level. Then going into location pages, these target local intent and ensure users can find relative treatment nearby. Specifically, these work similarly to service pages, just at a local level, and they first target local keywords, but they also help to build topical authority through a location-based presence by incorporating internal linking from these pages to core services and relative resources. And then continuing up the funnel, blog posts for informational intent answer queries, such as those for health-related questions. Although service pages are the root of that topical authority, resources and blog posts are essentially key for building that topical authority. So blog posts link to service pages, location pages, and condition specific resources through long tail queries, while also providing that insight to Google that you are knowledgeable on the topic of the treatments and services that you provide from a holistic level. And then finally, as for the other resources, these target queries and visibility for topics such as conditions and certain symptoms that may require treatment, which makes these pages specifically important for healthcare SEO. So this layered approach specifically builds confidence and expertise from Google, which encourages that overall topic visibility improvement. On to the next slide. Thank you. So what exactly does the topic clustering process look like? So when you create topic clusters, also look at the pages that are on your site and how your site is structured. So having these different levels of pages that address different queries and are able to address different queries can help boost your topical authority. So we first start from a domain level. So this specific client provides treatment for addiction. So we begin at the bottom funnel level here. So this includes queries like online rehab program, peer support services, medication-assisted treatment, and online addiction counseling. Next is service levels. So this still includes lower funnel targeting, but through specific service queries such as Suboxone treatment, online addiction treatment, and virtual addiction treatment. So continuing on the treatment level is subservice pages, and this includes topics for more specific treatments, and this can include queries like online opioid addiction treatment, Suboxone strips, and what is methadone as well. And then last but not least, resource pages include more queries that provide greater information on the core topic. So in this case, this can include topics and resources for substance use and mental health, co-occurring disorders, and Prozac withdrawal. So these target more of a conditional and symptom level of topical authority. So what does this look like in practice specifically? So this specific example explains how we used a variety of content to target topical authority for ABA therapy and autism for an ABA client. So starting off with the core service page, this again provides that route for the topical authority to build off of. So in this use case, we did incorporate core ABA service terms while linking out to ABA subservice pages. These also utilize on-page FAQs to expand on long-tail queries for ABA and autism authority specifically. Internally linked are resources related to core resource pages for more information revolving around the two topics, and then including specific symptoms of autism and more information on how ABA actually works as an effective autism treatment. So then going on to the subservice pages, these again act fairly similar to the core service pages, but these incorporate more specific commercial keywords while also targeting topical authority through quality content on what to expect during specific program types. So these can incorporate FAQ portions as well as internal linking, and the quality internal linking does link to relative resources as well. So hopping into the core resources that we have implemented, so this is a big one and where we've continuously seen growth within the specific client, but we have implemented a couple of high-level resources into the main navigation for what is ABA therapy and understanding autism. So these distinctly work to not only provide a better user experience for more information before they convert, but from a topical level, it tells Google that the business, again, is knowledgeable about the services that they offer. So core resources like this are going to be among the key drivers to improving that topical authority. Also, another note here, it's important to keep resources like these up to date and occasionally refresh them just to stay relevant. So lastly is topical support. In this case, we utilize blog posts to discuss more about autism and ABA. So following those core resources, these work to, of course, gather attention of higher funnel users, but they also work to let Google know that you're well-versed in your services. In this case, we've specifically targeted keywords such as what to expect during ABA and how to tell if a toddler has autism. And then going forward, and how has this paid off in the long run? So for this specific client, we removed a couple of other mental health service lines from the website, which we expected to see actually a little bit of a hiccup in their performance. However, as our topical authority and core services was really, really strong, we actually saw quite the opposite. So ABA visibility growth has insanely skyrocketed within the past few months based on the continuing ABA and autism focuses and honing in specifically on those two topics. So just for some examples here, but ABA therapy topical authority and impressions has heavily improved. The performance data here continues to thrive. And then similarly, autism topical authority has experienced heavy growth over the past year as impressions have almost tripled. And then going into how do you make it your own? So make this strategy your own through competitor insights and gap-filled content to build an impactful online presence. So firstly, conducting competitive research can help you identify how your digital competitors perform in strong or weak content for specific topical areas. So this specifically allows you to find opportunities to stand against your competitors as an authoritative source, which brings me to my next point. Identify any keyword gaps among your competitors for high opportunity areas. So referring back to our previous ABA example, this can include topics such as early signs for autism and treatment options for autism. Use this gap analysis, though, to provide opportunities and find opportunities to expand and create new content that target greater information on your topics. And then lastly, biggest thing, I know I kind of mentioned this as well, but continue to refresh important relative information on your topics. So again, referring to our ABA example, where we really saw a lot of growth is when we refresh those core resource pages. So the what is ABA and understanding autism. So we did a refresh on those, and we continually are seeing phenomenal topical authority growth specifically for those topics. Alrighty.
Alrighty. Looks like we have a good amount of time for questions. So if you guys have any questions, we'll take them.
I'm reading through the chats over here.
I do have a question. How do clients manage to create all of this content? That's one of our challenges. Thank you. Yeah, I think when it comes down to creating content, it's definitely about taking it by a strategic approach. You really taking some time to plan out a content calendar and then prioritizing some of the content that you know will make the biggest impact, and then kind of tackling it from that perspective, right? I think you could make the argument once you start really seeing some results to kind of invest additional resources into creating content. But I think it all boils down to, again, identifying what would have the most impact to whether it's traffic, conversions, or even, some of the bottom funnel keyword rankings, and then attacking it that way. So I think coming at it with a plan of action is definitely the way to go and helps you manage all of the content that you do create.
I think we have a question for how often do you recommend refreshing content? Ideally, I would recommend once a year for those high level resources. However, if you are seeing declines in those resources that are very valuable, then I would definitely recommend doing it sooner than later. But ideally about once a year for those high level resources, especially if they're in the main navigation.
What are some of the mistakes organizations make when trying to establish this type of strategy? I think sometimes organizations forget that structure also plays a part into creating things like topic clusters, which again is a strategy for improving topical authority. So you do want to look into the way your site is organized and structured, again, from an information architectural perspective. So grouping topics together under the same subfolder definitely helps with this, and helps Google just understand the organization of your content and how they relate to each other. So those child and parent relationships are super important with that, and I think that's something that a lot of clients miss out on.
Like, all right. Any more questions?
Is this the same strategy for all sizes of websites? Yeah, I think it's best to, whether you're big or small, to definitely structure yourself in this way. For smaller sites, it's good to set that foundation so that as you do grow, you're able to continue to follow that path. And definitely for larger, more enterprise sites, if you're not implementing this structure right now, as Abby showed with some of the case studies, you can definitely see a huge improvement, a huge impact to how your content ranks and the amount of visibility that you get. So I think all in all, sites of all sizes should implement a strategy and focus on topic clusters and topical authority in general.
Ralph, I think, can you show the funnel slide again?
The funnel slide.
Yeah, someone had asked to see it. Another question, have you seen significant impacts of certain schema in increasing authority? Yes. So for me, I've seen a lot of specifically just relevant to topical authority. Also, we use a lot of FAQ schema, specifically healthcare schema, of course, for more service pages, but FAQ schema and schema on the blog post has been very helpful in improving, specifically related to that ABA example that has improved visibility for both SERP features and rankings as well. Ralph, I don't know if you have anything to expand on that with schema and building authority.
Yeah, as the search engines have become a bit more sophisticated, it definitely is a useful tool to continue to provide additional information, and definitely a tool that can help you, rank for more things like from a rich snippet perspective. So when it comes down to that, that's a good way to improve your CTR, and ultimately improving your positioning as well, and the visibility and clicks that you're able to generate to your site. So I have seen some impacts of schema for sure when it comes down to just really increasing positioning and CTR. See a question, how would you incorporate AI into your content marketing? So AI within your content marketing can be used in a couple different ways. It can just be more so a tool to help you essentially generate that content. I would say there are times when people can use it from a brainstorming perspective to kind of help you drill into the type of content that you want to write about. Um, and that's probably the primary way that I've been able to use it. It can help you produce the content as well, but you definitely want to have some human input and human eyes into it too, just to make sure you're able to differentiate your content in some kind of way, and to make sure that you're hitting all the points for what you what would actually make the content valuable and make it rank.
Sounds good. Any more questions?
Hey.
Oh, Curly said, oh, I see.
So I got a question here. How do you avoid getting too far away from your actual service offerings when building topical authority? I think the biggest thing here that we wanted to point out is that relevance is definitely a key when it comes to establishing topical authority in the first place. So we don't want to stray too far away from um, our core topic, but just essentially look for things that can complement it, or even additional content that is, again, that's just really related to that particular topic. And I know there are a lot of providers out there that service, a breadth of different conditions and diseases. So we should be able to, again, organize our content in a way that all the related content kind of sits together and is easily easily found through waypoints that are strategically placed throughout the site. So again, it's not really about kind of going too far out from your service offerings, but just making sure that you stay within the realm of what's related and what are some of the things that people really want to know a little bit more about, so that you can establish that your position within the market as that expert and display your expertise.
Sounds good. Jacqueline asked, what do you decide, or how do you decide which content to prioritize when you first get a client? So biggest thing is essentially service and location pages are always priority for the most part. And then, so kind of based on this funnel, we start at the more on the right side here, but we start at location, service pages, and then use blog posts and resources as supporting ways to improve that topical authority. Ralph, there's some more questions in here. There's click the QA at the bottom.
Yeah, I was going through that. Let's see.
I'm trying to see some of the ones we didn't get to.
So what is the best way to measure internally and share the impact of your SEO efforts? For sure, you want to have good tracking in place for sure, making sure that you are tracking the actions on your website, whether, a particular user is, filling out a form, making a phone call. You want to make sure that's placed within within the website, and then also from a Google business perspective, for our multi-location clients, we want to make sure that we're able to track a lot of the interactions there as well. So just essentially showing those interactions and making sure they're tracked as you continue to drive traffic. You should be able to see how that traffic is interacting with your site, and then essentially follow the conversions down funnel in order to kind of see how it's impacting your business overall. So best way to measure is just make sure you have the proper tracking in place and the proper tech that you need to track the behavior, and then just understand how the organic traffic that you're generating is interacting with your efforts.
How many?
Right. It's time to wrap up.
Gotcha. We can say goodbye.
Alrighty.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye, everyone.